Hello guys, today I'm going over some items and assets that were going to be used in Borderlands before the game switched to the cel-shaded graphic style art. If this video does well, it could become a series on my channel because there is a lot of information to go over from the game before it changed graphic styles. But today we're breaking down an old video from Rolfcopter701, but a super long time ago he posted a video where he went through this map made with some assets that weren't used. I also found a few other different character models and things to add along with this. So we'll be breaking down his video and then adding what I found myself scattered all throughout. So that's kind of the format. So with that, let's get right into it. So this map was available for downloading and exploration, but unfortunately the website used for the download is Mega Upload, which is currently in all the legal trouble and has all the servers frozen due to legal issues. I was not able to find any other sources for this my research, so I didn't really link anything down below. But if you do have a download of this map, feel free to share it down below so others can experience it and download it. So let's get into the video. So when he first loads into the game, the first asset we see is a grass material texture, which is for sure nowhere in the game, especially in the final game. They've more focused on a brown color palette, which people love to mock, so that wasn't really in there. You know, instead Gearbox went for the brown dirt color on everything and everywhere. Then he glances over to a bandit, which I'm not sure if that exact model did not make it into the actual game, or if it's just the skin of a bandit that didn't make it into the game. As we pan over, we see a spiral staircase, which could have been used in a lot of different areas, but we did end up seeing the same type of idea move to Borderlands 2 with the whole spiral. Then we go to one of the best finds, which was the original Vault Hunters. The first that he pans over is Mordecai. His traits are tall, strong, imposing, like a panther. He walks subtle and smooth, but attacks with great speed and explosive power. Fearless. Lack of fear, he knows his limits. This is also something that can be found in the code of the game. I'll put up a screenshot. Just the traits alone show how far the character has changed. He became kind of lengthy in his final build. Prefers to stay far away from the enemies. He uses his sniper more than being a powerful, brooding presence. And these traits suggest that a lot more story was originally in there for the characters, which we do know Gearbox eventually wanted each character to have their reason for finding the vault, which they kind of cut out in the final version. Then it says he's a mercenary hunter in his early 30s, and his portrait also makes his look more menacing than he did in the final game. Next is Dr. Lilith Cashlin, which should start to get you thinking about who she was based off of. Her traits say fit, statuesque, wicked, wit. Knowing, confident, and arrogant. Views traditional humanity with a bit of melancholy for what she has lost and can never have again. Once again, that goes back into what the character's origin stories were going to be. She's titled as a mercenary scientist, aged 29. Now, everyone knows that one of the early designs for Lilith was the design for Commandant Steele. And you can see this in the early trailers for the game, and that's pretty well known. But I would say is less known is the fact that her design also became what we know of as Tannis. Not only that, they include the doctor scientist aspect of the look as well, with the goggles along with the short hair, which is basically copy and pasted for Tannis's look. Even some of her traits seem like they were going to be more like Tannis. Kind of standoffish towards humanity, very smart, knowing that she's smart, very serious. It looks as if sirens were almost added into the game pretty late, at least, or not as a playable character, because if Tannis' model was one of the sirens and Lilith's, she probably wouldn't have been a siren, so the players probably would have just been trying to find a siren, or maybe there would have been no sirens in the original game. We really don't know too much, and it's hard to say without seeing her whole body model. There are a few different accounts on the original sirens in the series, but I could make that into another video. But for now, let's just enjoy this one. Also, Commandant Steele's original name was Helga, so there's another little fun fact for you. Then, before we get to Roland, we see a Gearbox Software logo along with 2K Games, nothing too crazy. Then lastly, we see Roland. Once again, his look is now different from what they decided with before the original trailer. His hair and face are changed. His traits read strong, confident, and skilled with weapons. He's not a hand-to-hand fighter, generally quiet and polite. He doesn't start fights, he ends them. Mercenary soldier, age 35. Overall, this isn't too far off from what we've seen either. He is more of a guns fighter in the games, at least according to his skill points and skill trees, and he does keep to himself and is a pretty quiet, well-kept person, so not too much changed with him. And just as a quick reminder, there was no 4th Vault Hunter at the time. Gearbox actually decided to add Brick as the 4th playable Vault Hunter after the change to cel-shaded graphics. So that's why there's no Brick and no original traits for him. Then we see a huge structure that says it was put down to half size because it was so large, just to give it some scale of how big it actually is, which makes me think of that very original trailer for Borderlands I've actually broken down. I'll link if you guys want to see that. But it shows a huge vault and how small the players are when they approach it and it opens up. And I think that this shows that Gearbox might have actually wanted to implement this idea of the vast landscapes, the huge vaults that when you go up it feels immense and really cool to actually open, more so than just the traditional V that we have now. Then we get a few more assorted landscape items, stairs, floating sides, and a doorway. Next we look at what appears to have been the main menu screen for the game. It says New Game, Continue, Multiplayer, Options, and Exit. After we pan over, we see what was probably an equipment screen for the character. You can see that by the character outline right there, along with the different side tabs for weapons and different gear we could have picked up and then maybe even equipped. Also, this could have been the home screen similar to the way it is now, where when you go to enter the game, you kind of see your 3D modeled character right there, like in Borderlands 2 or the pre-sequel, with your Vault Hunter up front. Then we see some ice material shown, which could have once again pointed to the giant vault shown in the trailer, or just that ice landscape in general. And a lot of these assets point to that fact, including the ice, the structures, all of this. This is the next screen shown. Most users point to the fact that this is likely going to be used as a screen somewhere in game. Looks almost like vitals for a character, maybe a new U station. It says checking heart rate, auto need, and temperature, all of which might have been necessary in the original design of the game, or maybe even a healing station. Once again, I point to the users who say this screen is most likely used to show inventory weapons, maybe in an inspect type way, which we could have seen in future games, or game to show your inventory. Then a few other switches. One is a wind sound effect, and another teleports us to the top of the structure. There's a big wood 4am walkway, which some have speculated to be the structure of the boss fight with Sledge, because he was one of the earliest characters and enemies created for the game. Then if we go to a few different things, other characters that weren't shown in this video but are still available to see. Then one other character that we see is a very early design for character Zed, who we know ended up making it as Dr. Zed. Obviously this model's pretty rough. At the bottom we can see his foot almost look like rags. We see a med pack almost taped to his knee. Then we see him with a few other bandages, blood, few other accessories on his belt. And his face looks completely different. He's not as rugged around the side. Just looks like a normal character, like a normal NPC. Which is one thing they obviously changed a lot before the end of the game. But obviously there's so much more I could go over, but we'll end it there for this video. Let me know, did you guys like this video? Have you seen the video before I broke it down? If not, go check it out. I'll link all that below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.